Today I'm taking 2 journeys in LNER's first class. I'll be reviewing the seats, the onboard service including the food and drink, and answering the question, is it worth the upgrade? The plan for the day is to start in Newcastle and take the 1-hour journey down to York, giving us a chance to experience the morning service. After spending a few hours in York and going out for lunch, we'll then return up to Newcastle and see if there's any differences on the way back up in the evening. Arriving at the station, we're pleased to see that the train was due to depart on time from platform 4, which is right next to where the LNER first class lounge is. It's a relatively small but pleasant lounge with a good few seating options. There's a couple of different drinks options and some coffee machines, and a few little light snacks as well, like crisps and biscuits. I grabbed myself a mocha and sat down to relax whilst we waited for the train to arrive. We decided to leave the lounge a couple of minutes before the train was due to arrive, which meant we were able to watch it arrive onto the platform. And amazingly, it did actually arrive a couple of minutes early. Our first class seats today were in coach L towards the front of the train. Unlike economy, which is set out in a 2-2 seat configuration, first class is a 2-1. We pre-booked these 2 seats to ensure we could sit next to each other without having anyone opposite us in the table. This would be my recommendation for couples to make sure you can sit next to each other without having someone opposite. Having a quick look around the seat, there was this hook to the window, and the headrest is adjustable. We had a really nice big sturdy table in front of us, and on this was the menu for today's service. The morning menu has breakfast and brunch options. My choice on that would definitely be the bacon roll, and the afternoon and evening meals are more focused on sandwiches, salads, things like that. There's also a good selection of soft drinks and alcoholic drinks. The menu does say that these are only served in the afternoon, but you'll soon see that wasn't the case. And one thing I did like is there's a focus on local suppliers for all the food and drink. If you are travelling solo, these individual seats are absolutely brilliant. In terms of features, it's obviously the same as the couple seats, but you're just by yourself. And the tray table for this one does actually fold up, unlike the couples ones. The couple one was completely fixed. In between the 2 seats, you do have power, so USB and also a standard power outlet. And the seat also features a recline when you press this button. Now, I've got to be honest, it did take us a little while to figure out. We were pressing the button, trying to lean back, and nothing was happening. However, that's because it's got quite a clever design so that it doesn't impact the person behind you. Instead, when you recline, you've got to sort of shift your bum forwards, and the seat reclines that way, so the seat itself doesn't move backwards, but you can recline it nicely by sliding forwards. And you still get plenty of leg room the whole time. Overall, a really comfy seat, especially for the 1-hour journey, but I'd imagine on the 3-hour journey down to London, which we have done before in LNER, it's really comfortable for the whole way. Shortly after departure from Newcastle, we were offered some alcoholic drinks. Not usually a morning boozer, but as we were celebrating my birthday, I decided to have a gin and tonic, and Kelly went for some rosé. Just wanted to highlight as well, if you are travelling with luggage, there's some larger luggage racks near the doors, and you can fit a decent sized bag above the seats as well. As we made our way through Durham, the next part of the onboard service started, with the hot drinks trolley coming round offering tea and coffee. I did decide to go for a coffee just to wake myself up a little bit. Unfortunately, it was absolutely terrible. Really wouldn't recommend. If you want a coffee, just get one from the lounge beforehand and stick to that. Took a quick trip to the bathroom, which was a decent size, but absolutely nothing fancy as you might expect from a train. When I made it back to my seat, they started a snack service giving us some crisps and a brownie. They also topped up our alcoholic drinks, giving me an extra gin and tonic, and they topped up Kelly's rosé. Overall, the service on board was really friendly. And this did help make up for the disappointing fact that they didn't actually serve us the breakfast menu. They did offer us extra snacks to make up for it, and that did keep us going, but it was still disappointing to not receive the usual breakfast menu. Thankfully, we did receive the full menu on our way back up. So after a great few hours in York, having a few drinks and going out for a meal, back at York Station, ready to make our journey back. Bit annoyed at myself here. I didn't realise that York Station also had an LNER first class lounge, and I actually only saw this once we were on the platform and the train was due to arrive. But I do think it's pretty similar to the one in Newcastle, so I don't think we missed out on too much, thankfully. And once again, the train was actually on time. I feel like that probably should be a basic expectation, but in the UK it's really not. Making our way on board, the train was a bit busier than on the way down, and we'd selected seats in a similar location, just slightly further back than where we were before. No hook this time, so Kelly had to make do with leaving her bag on the table instead. The train departed slightly late as we'd been sat on the platform for about 5 or 10 minutes, but eventually we were on our way. and shortly after we departed, the drink service came round. This time I decided to try out the vodka, and I had that with some Pepsi Max. And it was around this point that I started to notice that the seat back this time wasn't as comfortable as the last one. This adjustable headrest just kept falling down and I couldn't get it to stay up. And this continued pretty much the whole journey. We weren't the only ones, as I did notice that the group in front ended up giving up and taking theirs off. Shortly after the drinks, the food service started and we both went for the New York deli sandwich. It's a really good quality sandwich. It is a bit of a light meal, but that did suit us after being out for lunch. And of course they did provide more crisps and there was also desserts available, although we didn't go for that. As we make our way back into Newcastle, let's talk about the cost of this trip and whether or not it's worth paying extra for first class. For 2 people on the return journey, this cost us £64.50. That's for 2 people on a return journey with a 2 together rail card. And it works out at about £16 per person in each direction. This was roughly 50% more than what the economy ticket would have cost us, but to my mind it was well worth it. For just a little bit extra, the seat was really comfortable, we got great food and drink the whole time, and some really great service. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.